Hello, everybody. This is Paola Guthrie from Creating Purpose with Paola, and I welcome you to the Spanglish World Network and H.E.R Network on Zingo TV channels 250 and 251. Please remember to download Zingo TV app on the respective app stores. When you download it, rate it, and let us know how we're doing our job. The app is totally free. You can find Zingo TV on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire TV Stick, Roku Stick, and all smart TVs from 2016 and forward. So today, I have a very special guest. Thank you all for being here with us. Her name is Denise Noyer-Erez. She is the CEO and Clinical Director at Women's Wealth Center, and I welcome you. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
Second time.
Thank you. So
Please,
happy to be here. Yes, sorry.
yes. Please share with us, what do you guys do at Women's Wellness Center?
First of all, thank you, Paula, for having me here. It's always a pleasure to see you. I love your work. I love what you are putting out into the world. So I really am grateful for being here to share with you.
Thank you for contributing. We're doing it as a team. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So at my clinic at AIM Women's Wellness Center, we really focus on women's health, and we serve women through all stages of life. So whether it's, in the beginning when girls start getting their period and it's painful and irregular, to trying to get pregnant, pregnancy support, postpartum, and then of course there's the perimenopause, menopause time of life, which is another big concern. And there's just not a lot of support for women out there. So we feel really blessed, and we love helping women in this area.
That's beautiful. And that's why you're here today. We're going to learn, because I'm here to learn about premenopause versus menopause, and how, what we need to know to take care of, that stage in our lives. So could you please explain the difference between premenopause and menopause?
Yes, sure. Of course. It's a great question. So premenopause, we call it perimenopause, and it comes before you actually have menopause. So menopause means you stop having menstrual cycles, your body stops producing, your ovaries stop producing follicles and eggs, so you're not ovulating anymore. And so that's what menopause means. It's the pausing of the menstrual cycle. And so perimenopause is really the transition. It's a transitional period, kind of like I was speaking to a woman yesterday about menopause, and she did a beautiful analogy. She said she likes to think of perimenopause and menopause as like going through puberty, right? But it's at the other end. And so it's kind of like this transition that we go through, and that's what perimenopause really is. It's before the actual stopping of the period.
And what are the ages that premenopause could begin?
It can begin as early as 35 for most women. Sometimes there's other things that can make it come earlier, but most of the time it's between 35 and 52, 53, sometimes 55, but that's the average.
Okay. And what are the symptoms that we might need to be looking for that menopause stage?
So a lot of times there's some hormonal shifts. And so what happens is our bodies don't produce as much estrogen. And so we start to feel some changes in our brain, like brain clarity. Sometimes we'll get brain fog, or we'll have some mild forgetfulness. Like, I don't know about you, but I forget where I put my keys, sometimes my phone a lot, right? So some of that can be some symptoms of that, but there's also hot flashes can be a symptom, night sweats, challenges sleeping, some changes in libido, and a lot of times women can get some vaginal dryness and atrophy, so it can affect your libido. So those are some of the symptoms that women usually have.
Okay, so how long does it last?
It lasts an average of 4 years, but it can last 10 to 15 years.
Okay, so an average of 4 years, but if we don't take care of it, it can last longer. Is that why?
can be, and it can also be genetic, but there's definitely ways to help, you not have such severe menopause. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Wow.
definitely.
So when do we know that it ends? Like when do we know that it's like, oh, it's been 4 years, I'm safe,
So
or I'm out of the stage. So how do we know?
your period will stop. So in that transition, towards the end of, as you're getting really close to menopause, your period will either shorten or lengthen, or sometimes it does both. There's a lot of irregularity in the cycle, and
Hmm.
so your period will lengthen and lengthen, and then it'll just stop, and then you'll know you're actually in menopause.
Okay. So and when we're in menopause, then are we there forever?
You're there forever. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So that's an aha moment. So all the night sweats, low estrogen, mental fatigue, hot flashes, sometimes insomnia, night sweats are through the pre-menopause process.
Yeah, so sometimes though, because we still have other conditions and things we need to worry about. So, but brain health and the forgetfulness can also absolutely impact menopause.
Okay.
But you won't have the hot flashes during menopause and the night sweats. You could still have problems sleeping during menopause. We also have to be really mindful of heart health, bone health,
Okay.
sexual health, and our brain health.
Okay. Through menopause, after we pass the pre-menopause.
Yeah, I think it's something we want to start being mindful of and aware of as soon as possible, because the sooner we start taking care of and doing those things that are really positive for our health, that we know are going to make us feel better and keep our hormones balanced, and we'll have more reserve, if you will.
Mhm.
Will be much more smoother.
Okay. So I have no knowledge, like very minimal knowledge about menopause, except for what I've heard from, mom and conversations that you hear now and then. So you talked about heart issues, bone, I'm guessing bone density, and brain health. So what are some of the health health awareness, like what are some of the things that we need to take care of besides our heart, our bone density, our brain health? Is there any other medical issue we need to be aware of?
Well, a lot of times, which I forgot to mention earlier, there tends to be a weight gain in women,
I was
right?
going to
That's
ask you
a
that.
big,
Yes.
that's a big concern. And so when we are in our late 30s, early 40s, it starts to become a little bit more challenging to lose weight, and we'll get a lot more weight around the middle, around our bellies.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can be like because of hormone imbalance. So it's a real thing. So it's not impossible to lose weight, to be honest.
Hmm.
It takes a lot more effort, a lot more consistency, a different level of commitment. It's definitely more challenging. So that could be another concern, because when you have more weight, especially around the belly, and we really like to look at the hip to waist ratio more
Okay.
than like a BMI, your body mass index. It's more important to make sure that we have um, a smaller hip, a smaller waist than our hips. So we
Okay.
want the hip to waist ratio. And so what happens is, when we have a lot of adipose tissue, a lot of fat tissue around in our belly, it actually, believe it or not, becomes another organ, and it causes a lot of inflammation in our bodies, and a lot of what we call dysglycemia, or um, sugar imbalances.
Okay.
So, which cause inflammation, and then a lot of times our symptoms and that can affect our overall health, our brain health, our heart health, our bone health, our everything, our joints, then that can be impacted by inflammation. So, doing the best we can to try to manage that and keep that, at a minimum, or lose that belly fat, is going to be really, really helpful.
Wow. So we can prevent a lot of our health issues if we try to stay fit.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Uh, Now share with us, please, about the heart issues. Do you know like what are some of the things we have to look for? Like what happens through menopause with our circulatory system? What happens to our heart?
Normal heart disease can be is increased. In fact, when with women in menopause, it's actually the number one killer for women is
Oh,
heart disease. And a lot
okay.
of people think it's like breast cancer or something like that. And a lot of
Mhm.
people are worried about, cancers, breast cancers and cancers coming up. But heart disease is a really big concern. So because of the lack of estrogen. So estrogen really does a lot of beautiful things in our body. It helps decrease inflammation. It helps protect our cells. It helps with circulation. It does a lot of different things in our body. So having our bodies produce less of it, contributes to all these other factors that are affecting us. So with heart disease, it's just like what you would think of with heart disease, higher cholesterol or hypertriglycerides, more hypertension, those type of issues.
Oh, wow. It's like now it's like we should bring us like cardiologist in our interview to learn more about it because it's like, oh wow, I had no clue. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and bringing the awareness, to all women out there that might be during that age. I know I'm 39, so you said we start at 35. It could, premenopause. So it's just to be aware and try to stay fit, healthy, so that our body can function
Yeah,
better.
and for someone like you, Paula, who's in that perimenopause state, really doing those things now makes a huge difference as you transition into it. So it's kind of like filling up your storages, if you will. You're saving. You have more of a savings that's going to last you longer, and so you'll have more of that storage, right, in the
Yes.
long run. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, and I picture Dr. Amen talking about the reserve, and I don't know if it translates right in English, but like you're accumulating good reserve, like good vitamins, good food, nurturing your body. So when a stressful time happens, then your body has enough defense to deal with a new change, with a new stress.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
yes,
Yeah, beautiful.
yeah. Now, explain about bone. What happened to our bones whenever menopause or premenopause happens, like low estrogen levels? How does our bones get stressed by the low levels of estrogen?
It just because it's you don't have that protection
Okay.
anymore. So you're the with the low levels of estrogen. So, ways to really go around that, to circumvent that, would be to making sure you're doing weight bearing exercises, right?
Okay.
So exercise is going to be really important, and movement is going to be really important. And in fact, did you hear about that? Is it the blue, what's it called? The blue planet study that they did, that the blue zone area.
No, tell us about it, please.
So they did some research. So there's different levels of activity, right? You don't have to necessarily be this hardcore exerciser. It's
Mhm.
really getting movement and having an active lifestyle. And here in the United States, and we have a very sedentary lifestyle. So really incorporating some movement, whether it's walking up hills, doing steps, getting a little bit more of that stimulation on the bones, because the stimulation on the bones is what's going to help it stay strong, right? So when we're sitting, there's no pressure, there's no weight bearing, so our bones can get weak and brittle. So this blue zone really focuses on longevity.
Mhm.
Certain areas, a lot of them were in the Mediterranean, Italy, Greece. There's an area here in California called Loma Linda. So they looked at lifestyle, how much movement, what they were eating, all these different factors that can really affect your overall quality of life.
Yes, let's get moving.
Yeah, movement is
Even,
huge,
even through our busy schedule, let's do it with grace and find that time too to
right?
take
It's
care of
so important, and it's so important for brain health. The studies show if you just move you break a sweat for 20 to 30 minutes 4 or 5 times a week, it's going to make you think clearer. It's going to help your neurons reconnect. It's going to help your heart health, your bone health, your energy, all those things just by moving.
Yes,
Your
definitely.
mood, how we feel, right? How happy we are, all those things.
Yes, I believe like yeah, you move, even if whenever you feel sad, mad, move, do
Move.
something different.
Got to move. Yes.
Yes, and you'll feel much better. Uh, so once you are in that pre-stage, let's say, how do you help women manage their hot flashes, their night sweats through
Yeah.
your therapy?
Yeah, so we in our clinic we do acupuncture, which is
Okay.
a wonderful way to help balance your hormones, decrease inflammation, increase circulation, relieve stress, all those factors that impact your symptoms, which we can talk more about. But we also really want to focus on lifestyle, right? And diet, how you're managing stress, and then there's some supplements and stuff that can be really helpful for a lot of women.
Okay. What happens? Do you have people like women that are overweight and they benefit from acupuncture? Do they benefit from any of your therapies that you guys offer?
Yes, of course. And it's still the lifestyle factors, diet, all those things will absolutely help them as well. And then the idea would be to still try to, lose some of the belly fat as much as possible.
Okay. So you guys target lifestyle, which I mean it makes sense, right? You have to adopt new habits. Then you teach them to adopt new habits to better their lifestyle.
Right, exactly. Yeah, lifestyle matters, how you manage stress matters, making sure you're calming your nervous system, taking some of those pauses during the day, all those things really make a huge difference. And so our goal in our clinic is, and when I'm working with clients virtually, it's not just to, help the symptom, it's to really give them the tools that they can use on their own, so they're self-resilient, and then we have the support to help them get there and to help with those symptoms. But at the same time, we really want to empower our patients so that they can help them and make that shift. Because even if you do something like hormonal therapy, the studies show that just like with anything, it's not just about taking the pill. When you actually start making those lifestyle changes, it makes a bigger impact and you have less side effects, for example, with taking some type of medications. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Now that you mentioned the hormone therapy, I'm not very educated about hormone therapy either. So, is it recommended to do hormone therapy during premenopause and menopause, or how does that work?
When you have symptoms, if that's something, so it's very personal. We have
Okay.
to look at, like, there's not a one size fits all solution. So we want to look at the person's health, what their desires are, if they have any pre-existing conditions, any history of cancer or heart disease in the family, those types of things. And then of course their desire and what they want. If they want to, a lot of people like to try to do more natural, and some
Mhm.
people still want to do the medicine. So
It
it's really
depends.
independent. Hmm.
That's what you want. Okay. Like, what do you want? You want to do it naturally? You want to do it with, medically with pharmaceuticals? So
Or
this,
combination. Hmm.
or what? Oh, combination. You said
Or
both.
combination, yeah.
Okay. Uh, so is there a way now I mean, you're answering my next question. I was going to ask you if there is a way to treat this premenopause symptoms with natural supplements.
Yes, there is. So first of all, food is, more of a having eating a Mediterranean style diet
Okay.
makes a huge difference. So we really want to focus on having, healthy fats, nuts and seeds, and olive oil. High
Okay.
quality olive oil, though, which can be a little challenging to find and it's more expensive, but you really want to get that high quality olive oils.
Could you share with us, would it be the California brand? That was the last one I've heard. It was the healthiest one, but I don't know. Can you share any brands for?
There is some of the European oils, from Italy,
Okay.
more, and Greece. Some of those artisan oils. There's definitely California has some really high qualities. So one way is, you definitely don't want to buy the inexpensive clear glass or plastic bottled olive oil. You're not going to get the nutrients from that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you want to get the ones that they have different tastes, um, and they're going to be a little cleaner. So one way to notice that would be looking at if it has an expiration date. So olive oil actually expires 6 months after production.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so then after that it starts to go rancid. So those are some things to look at. I don't have any particular brands on the top of my mind I can send you. So I don't have
Thank
any.
you. Yes, please, because the last one I've heard is like it has like like here in the US, if I can find California brand in a glass, dark glass bottle, then that's the one that I get. And the grocery store here where I live, it carries it. But that was my last knowledge of olive oil years ago. So I don't know, maybe there is a new brand on the market that is healthier, healthier choice.
Yeah, I'll see. We usually buy that one too because it's
Oh,
easy.
okay.
Sometimes I'll order some from, from Italy. I like to order some.
Oh, that's okay. So we talked about hormone replacement, and it's a choice depending on our health history. We can do it naturally. So that's I like to opt for that option myself. Uh, so what are some? And we talked about long term risk associated with menopause. Like if we don't take care of it, we talked about heart disease could occur. Our bone density. We talked about. Let me look at my notes. Brain health. So we'll become forgetful. Is there an association with menopause and brain health?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
There is. It's a because estrogen really helps with the brain health. And so, that's where again lifestyle becomes so important because we want to try to stop dementia and Alzheimer's, right? So again, just leading back to the diet and exercise and all the lifestyle factors can really be helpful in as you're, navigating as aging.
Hmm. And, but now that you mentioned that, now I'm correlating 90% of our estrogen is built in the gut, right?
90%
Is it 90% is made on on our belly?
in the belly fat.
Yeah, I mean,
It comes from your adrenals and your ovaries. Yeah.
and it's based on what we eat. Okay, no, you're right. Yeah, please, yeah, educate me right now. I lost it. Yeah, you're right. That's the totally different hormone I'm thinking of. So thank you.
Okay.
You're right. Yes, yes, yes. I was correlating it with brain health, but that is a wrong hormone. So I apologize. I don't want to mislead anyone.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, do you know something I don't know? Wait a
No,
second.
no, 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 no. You're right. You're right. No, I just dive into brain health and yeah. No, we'll talk about that later. But
Okay.
thank you for correcting me. Uh so here I have more questions. One of the questions that they asked me to ask you is like, if someone wants to educate themselves and open up a clinic like you, what are some of the background academically that they need to have?
If somebody wants to open up a clinic,
A clinic, yeah, they're like, oh, that's cool. She's an acupuncture. And I was like, no, 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 she's more than that. I said, she has a master's in Chinese acupuncture. So could you educate? They're like, please ask her, how can I get that? And could you educate us? Is anyone else out here in the audience are thinking, oh, that's fun. How can I get to do that and help women?
so there's a lot of different avenues or different paths you can go. My path started with Chinese medicine, and nutrition. So that was my path. So it depends on the state. You go to a Chinese medical school. Here in California, it's a 4-year master degree program, and then you have to take a license exam, and then I bet it's different through every state. So you just find an acupuncture school or Chinese medical school, and that's one route to do that. There's You could take nutritional courses and become certified as a nutritionist to really help, or become a naturopath. There's a lot of different ways to serve.
Okay.
You can even become a health coach. Is a great
Okay.
way, which might not be such a long path. Maybe, it's a year to 18 months instead of 4 to 6 years type of a situation. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? Is
Yes,
that what you
yes,
meant?
yeah, yeah. This person was very excited. I was like, he's like, could you please ask her how how you can become an acupuncturist? Because I was like, I know she went to school for it.
Yes. There's a
Like,
school, and then a licensing. You need to be licensed. So there's
okay.
a state exam, and there's also a national exam that you can take.
And how many years have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for over 21 years.
Oh wow, wow. What's
Yeah.
the most rewarding part of this, beautiful profession that you have?
Really, it's changing, helping people transform their lives. That's really the biggest thing. And as you know, I'm known as the fertility godmother. So my particular baby is helping couples that are struggling to get pregnant, really help them find their power, get them healthy and balanced, and so that they can optimize their chances of getting pregnant. And the whole transitioning, when people come into our clinic, or when I see them coaching with them online, from where they start to when they leave, it's amazing. I'm
Wow,
obsessed. I'm obsessed.
that's awesome. And I hear you saying virtually. So I know you are here in the United States. So is anyone that is not near you, can they still reach out to you and get a consultation?
Yeah, I work with people all over the world. It's a beautiful thing now that we have this Zoom, right? And I do the coaching, and it's so awesome.
Oh wow. So where can they find you?
They can find me at Denise at AIM Women's Wellness Center. Sorry, at aimwellnessclinic.com. They can follow me on Instagram at Fertility Godmother. I also have a YouTube channel called The Fertility Godmother. So
Oh,
definitely can reach out.
that is awesome. And then it's my favorite part is that you do it naturally.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do naturally. And we're not opposed. I very much believe in medicine when needed. And
Mhm.
again, sometimes I just don't think it should be the first route of action, the first course of action, right? And there's so many different ways that we need to be responsible and take action in our health. So then it's really important, even if we do end up taking medicine, our lifestyle and how we manage stress and all those things really make a huge benefit.
Yes. Going back to premenopause, are there women that suffer like depression? Is that one of the symptoms through premenopause?
Thanks for bringing that up. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. Yes, absolutely. As because of the transitioning in the hormones, and there's less estrogen, you definitely, women are have a little bit more of a challenge being moody or feeling a little bit more depressed
Okay.
because of that lack of estrogen. Absolutely.
Okay. So that could be one of the symptoms. So we need to be aware. And there through treatment, they show that they go back like the balance. They go back to like living a traditional life with less moodiness, with less depression, with a better lifestyle through the treatment.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You can treat this by, by movement, by lifestyle, eating healthy nuts and seeds, and those healthy fats are so important. Getting enough sleep, managing stress, all of those things really make a huge difference. In fact, it's really great when a woman is going through perimenopause and menopause, for them to like really, it's an opportunity to kind of go in and make sure that they feel like they have a purpose in life, right? Having a purpose is really important. And when you wake up in the morning, that you're excited to wake up in the morning, and kind of tapping into going inside and really figuring out what's important to you, and what this next phase, what do you want from it, and So just, does that make sense?
Yes, yes, of course. That's why we have this show, Creating Purpose. Like we're creating purpose because each day we have to find, something to be grateful for. I believe, that whenever we have a purpose, life has more uh, flavor, has more flavor. So yes, like I can tell you that my mom went through a really hard time through her premenopause, and it damaged her nervous system, where she was afraid and she would have panic attacks and ugly dreams.
Mm.
And she had to find the purpose, like she said, she had to fight against her mind to find that solution. So like through prayer, and then trying to find, she said she would pray for knowledge. And then, finally she got a hold of some books that explained that what she was feeling, it was normal. And she was like, okay, well then I'm not going crazy. So she's sick for medical help, and I'm talking about this happened in Mexico in what, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have more information. Now we have more you know YouTube channels. We have social media that we can communicate. And I think this one of the she's my biggest cheerleader when I have, this show. And it's because that's how she's like, that's how I got saved. It was through a book, it was through a TV show that somebody said, oh, it's normal, the symptoms are normal. uh,
Yeah.
she said it was something that she's like, I can't explain it, but she just didn't want to be here anymore. Like there was just a lot of panic attacks, which is
Right.
fear. But because people like you, that you're on social media, you're here sharing your knowledge, then hopefully we can bless 100 of millions of women today to bring the awareness that we might go through those stages, and to know that it's normal, but there is help out there naturally, like you're talking about, also through pharmaceuticals. But it's the help is there. The
The
help is
help is there, and I'm so glad that you brought those things up, because that's another factor, right? It's challenging to know, to be able to talk about all of those things, but when you bring it up, it makes it easier. Like prayer, for example, is huge, and it was in that blue zone study as well. The people are in community, and especially women are very tribal, right? We need to find our tribe, a tribe that we feel safe with, that we can connect with. So important. And prayer, just again going in and feeling good and safe with yourself, but also connecting with your higher power, so important. And because it really fills you up, and it calms your nervous system, and it gives you that sense of purpose and gratitude, which all affects the
yeah.
quality of life we have, right?
Yes, I believe in what you're saying, because through prayer, like I pray and I said, okay, God, who do you want me to interview? Who do you want me to interview? And then you pop up in my head, or I seen something about you, and I'm like, okay, I get the message. And then I contacted you, and then you say yes. So yeah, I believe in the power of prayer, and it just brings so much color to life whenever we are in that moment of prayer. Is like, there's a phrase in Spanish that it says praying, but also taking action. Not just pray, or not just take action. Like pray, but also take action, and together, you'll find the way. So
Oh, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
yes. Yeah. Do you have any stories you can share about maybe someone that didn't believe in the treatment, and then through a couple of sessions, they begin to see the light?
Somebody who didn't believe in the treatment. I've
Oh,
had lots of fertility patients come and not believe, but with the menopause, I think most of them, I can't think of one that stood out. I'm searching my bank account, but I mean, they're concerned, they're worried if it will work or not work. So, but yeah, people, I've had women come in where, they're having a problem sleeping, and they're getting the hot flashes are waking them up in the middle of the night, right? And they're feeling drenched and tired, and then they're waking up and they have a hard time going back to sleep, and so then they're tired the next day, right? And then it becomes this vicious cycle. So, and then part of that though is the acupuncture itself really helps calm the nervous system. It helps balance hormones. It helps decrease inflammation, right? All those things. And then we like to educate them on, okay, let's make sure you're having some nuts and seeds. Let's make sure you're getting a lot of green vegetables, that you're eating healthy, that you're taking some time besides the moment you are here in the clinic to really calm the nervous system, to really tune inward, right? Let's do some gratitude exercises first thing in the morning so that it can shift how your brain is feeling, and all those things over time. But within a month, you can start to see some changes, some decreasing in the hot flashes, and then start sleeping better. So then they have more energy, and then maybe they're feeling a little bit more, sexy, little sexy time, right? Because that affects. So all the things, they all work together.
Okay. That is beautiful. That is beautiful because it goes back to nurturing our body, what works, and I love the concept of brain health, and I know you understand it. It's your biology. Take care of your body, nurture your body with the right food, uh, movement. Give your body enough movement so that your brain can function. And then we have the spiritual. We talked about praying, get closer with your higher power, because it helps in our health and in our everyday life, especially brain health. We've seen studies. Also your social life, you talked about women, having their tribe, creating those relationships or making those relationships stronger. And there's our psychology, how we talk to ourselves, that really 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 matter as well. And maybe through that stage of menopause we might not feel like it, so we might not be having that right psychology towards our own self. So being aware of that as well. So
No, yeah, beautifully. Nice summary. And just real quick, just going back to the brain health, right? So our hormones start, like the communication starts in our brain, right? So if there's some issue in our brain, if our brain isn't functioning optimally, it's going to affect our hormones. And our hormones can affect our weight and how we feel, right? And then that can, if we have too much body fat, too much belly fat, then that's going to cause more inflammation, which is going to go back and circle back and affect the brain, right? All the things. So you can't take one away. That's why I keep saying, it affects all the things, all of our body, our whole body as a system.
yes. And the hormone I was talking about a while ago was the serotonin and the dopamine that
Oh yes, that's the sense.
nothing to do with
Estrogen.
estrogens. Yeah, yeah. I was like, okay, now it clicked. Hmm. What are your projects? What's coming up?
What's coming up?
Yes, I know you had a beautiful birthday here lately. You've been doing this for 20 years. I know you added, you continue to learn and educate yourself, uh, with new certifications. So is it just the beginning? Tell us for any people out there that might be still trying to find purpose.
Oh, yeah, I'm obsessed with learning and growth. So I'm constantly trying to learn right now. I did the neuroencoding specialist, and I'll do the second level of the neuroencoding with Joseph. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also taking training in NLP, neuro linguistic programming. So
Wow.
I should be certified in November for neuro-linguistic programming, which is similar to Joseph's, but it's a little bit deeper. I don't know about the second level yet, but I'm super excited about that because that is like amazing. And yeah, I'm really just looking forward to doing more talks and serving more women and really growing my practice. So yeah, that's pretty much what's in. A
That is
lot,
beautiful.
travel, family, all the things.
How do you, yeah, you have a family, you're married and you have kids. So how do you complement your passion for helping women and also nurture your beautiful family and marriage?
Um, it's really challenging, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. It's really challenging, and it's a constant, everyday juggling. So I do the best I can to pre-plan my night before, and really get super clear and just be committed to whatever I want to do, and really focus. Like I have a chunk of time, so I like to get up early so I can do my meditation and my exercise, and then get my kids ready for school. I take them to school, and then when they're in school I can work, from about 9 to 3. Most days it's 9 to 3, and then it's shift gears, and because I have to help my kids. Even one of them just started high school, so he's really independent, but there's still a lot of
Yeah.
activities. And then the younger one, I need to help him still with his homework and all his activities, and all the mom stuff. So, and then sometimes when they go to bed, if I have the energy, I'll work a little bit. We just do the best we can, right? So,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
I find really the biggest thing is planning. And then I'm also lucky, I have an amazing team. So outsourcing, asking for help, and there's a bunch of different ways that we can ask for help, right? And you don't necessarily have to pay somebody for help, but if you're in a business, it's definitely beneficial to get help.
And how many people out there struggle with asking?
Yeah, so I just had that conversation a couple weeks ago, especially as women asking for help. I
Yes.
I think it's more of a woman's, like, we have to do it all. We keep putting it on ourselves.
Yeah.
That's a great conversation, Paula. Like, how about you? Like, how do you manage, and do you ask for help?
I do, like here I am is like my amazing team. I count my husband. I have a 17-year-old that's about to be 18. He's my big help as well. Like today, I was like, I won't be able to take your sister to dance class. Could you please take her? Yes, mom, I'll take her. Okay, I call my husband. Could you please pick her up? Yes, it's like, and it was off schedule because sometimes, I was being very grateful. I was like, oh, like I was praying. I said, thank you, God, that I'll get to do the interview today, so that give me time to go to my field trip. My daughter has a field trip. It's like, it's just being grateful. And then it's like, boom, oh, by the way, during the interview, I have to take her to dance. Okay, hang on. So it's like, then I asked my oldest son, could you please take her? And then I call my husband. So it takes a village. It is in, and I think my last learning of like last week is like, do it with grace. It's never going to be the right time. Do it with grace, just
Yeah.
whatever, like as life goes, is like, just continue and do it with grace, because if I wait until the moment is perfect, then it'll never happen, because there's always things happening, and we just gotta grab a hold of, our higher power, which is my God, and then continue to move forward. But yes, it's hard to ask for help, and at the same time, I try to be very grateful to my husband. On Fridays is like high five. We made it through the week, like together.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm guessing, your kids as well. They're a help at home. So I appreciate the little ones too, because sometimes they do help.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those who don't have family, there's, developing the relationships with friends and neighbors, or people at school, and just, or your kids' friends, right? And asking, hey, can you help carpool, or, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Anybody that you have around, it could be just give me a high five for today. I need a high five. Now that
Yes.
you mentioned that, the first thing that comes to my mind, last time I had a coaching session with someone, and I was the coach, and she taught me something. She said, because she said, well, I'm divorced. She's like, I have no kids. She's like, but I got me.
Oh,
It's like, I got me, and I don't have to take care of myself. I almost cried. I was like, oh my God, how beautiful. How beautiful that is. There's like, think that I got me, and I have
yes,
to take care of me right now.
that
So
is beautiful.
yeah, for anyone out there that might be feeling but I don't have nobody to ask for help. Just deep down, be grateful for who you are right now, because you got you, and then you might begin to see who you have around you.
Yes. Or Paula, the other thing is too, sometimes we put limiting beliefs on ourselves of what we can really handle.
Yes, yes. What a great one. And I, now that I know this, Denise, I've been teaching my kids it is
Mm,
possible. Just believe, it could be possible. And just having that is like, it is possible. It's just a different way of living, versus limiting myself that no, I cannot. No, it is possible. With the power of God, everything is possible. So, why not?
right. And when we think that, then other things show up for us, right? When we start looking for possibilities.
Yes, yes. My oldest son was bragging. He wasn't bragging. He was like, "Oh, look at that car." And he's like, "I can't believe he's driving that car." I was like, you be grateful because he's driving that car. Is it because you're opening up your mind that is possible for you?
Yes.
It's like, be grateful. You say, "Cool, man, you're driving that car." It's like, be grateful for that person that is driving that brand new race car. He was talking about race cars.
Yeah.
No, it's like, be grateful for them. And wow, they got to do that. Because whenever we do that, then we open our mind to know that if he did it, then I can do it.
That's
And with anything, my son came upset the other day because he was middle son. He's learning to play an instrument, and they do competition. I was telling him that competition make us better. It's like, it's nothing against each other, within your team, nothing against your friends. I said, they're just making you better, because if you didn't practice enough and she practiced enough, well, she deserves first chair, and you might deserve fifth chair, but she's just, hey, reminding you, maybe you need to practice a little bit more, with no hard feelings, but if just trying to teach him is like, if he or she got first chair, celebrate them.
yeah.
Because whenever you see that it's possible, it could be possible for you. If you apply the practicing enough time, then it will be possible. Like trying to teach them to do a competing with other people is not bad, because we make each other better. Like today, you made me better, but because I know more about menopause, premenopause. Now I know it starts at 35. Man, I'm 39. It's like, we're making each other better. You're a coach, I am a coach. Uh, but I think we complement, right? Like we add. Like, I learn from you. Hopefully, you learn from me today. But
Yeah.
it's just trying to teach my kids is like, competition. It's nothing negative. It's like, it's good. To see that you're making each other better, and
Yeah.
when you see that, if you wish for them to be first chair, then it's you opening your mind and your heart that you can be first chair as well. What do you think? I don't know if it's too.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I think it's so important. Competition, a healthy competition,
Yeah, healthy.
exactly. It means to get better, right? To raise up. If we don't have that push against, we're not going to get stronger. So with my older son, he was playing soccer, and he's the youngest one on the team. He's 14, and he's playing with 16-year-olds. And I said, wow, what an amazing opportunity you have. Right? Because he's like, I'm like the worst one, and they're so much better. And I'm like, but you look at that. You're going to learn from 16-year-olds, which means you're going to excel so much faster if you put the effort.
Yes, yes. When we put the effort, that consistency, the life, and it's here we are. We're talking about lifestyle. When you're teaching us about lifestyle through premenopause and then menopause, to ease, those stages of life. And same thing with, like teaching our kids. It's a lifestyle of mindset. Don't you think? It's like that psychology that
Yeah.
our parents did the best that they could, and I'm grateful for them, and I'm also grateful for the new research of psychology, the new studies that talks about how to have a better psychology, because then I can implement it, like at home, and then we get to share it right here with a beautiful audience.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. and do some healing, right? You get to heal.
Oh, yes, don't we? Like when we understand, we get to heal. We have the opportunity to like, oh wow, I can do better. Especially as a teacher, Denise. I'm a science teacher at
Oh,
high school,
I didn't know that.
and you know, there's times when things don't go my way. I'm like, it's okay. Like how can I do better?
Yes.
How can I do better? But anyways, thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for your time. Is there any last minute message that you want to leave to our beautiful audience?
Yes, I think so. I'd like to just kind of circling it back to lifestyle for menopause and perimenopause. Like, really, what I want our audience to know, your audience to know, is that it doesn't all have to happen overnight, but just taking these little steps and moving forward and really focusing on not necessarily restricting, but maybe starting with adding in the foods or that's going to be really helpful for you. And you do want to eventually get to a point where we are, especially in perimenopause, menopausal stages, where we are watching sugars, right? So I just wanted to talk about that because anything that's really inflammatory is going to impact our hormones, it's going to impact our brain health, and then it's going to have the whole cascade of event of impacting everything. So, but really, just what I'd like for you to just know is that it doesn't have to happen overnight, and just take little steps and just stay consistent, and things will start to shift for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody that had the opportunity to join us today. Blessings, blessings. This show can also be heard on Spanglish World Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Blessings, blessings, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.